It's really, really important that you master your craft, and you don't need to be investing tens of thousands of dollars in order to do that. It will come over time. So really grant yourself the space for that and the time for that. And it's not something that you can fully be rushed. And it's also something that's going to come with experience. And this was something actually my husband said to me, really powerful, that, he talks about a lot with his athletes that he works with. And that is always becoming, never arriving. And this is a really powerful one. So this is kind of also the case of like the when I haves. When I have 10 clients, I'll be happy. When I've lost 20 pounds, I'll be happy. When I have the man, I'll be happier. When I have the house, when I, right? And when I have the money, I'll be happier. Like all these things. So there's never really a place you're going to arrive at that you're going to feel this security or this happiness or this joy that you're looking for. That exists right now. And this is what always becoming, never arriving means. It's about always growing and recognizing that you're not going to ever arrive. There's always going to be an evolution of you. That's what happened with me and the podcast. I didn't arrive at this place and like feel this sense of security and this joy because I changed the podcast and our branding. For me, it was about being true to myself and the evolution of where I am now and being able to actually share that with people versus hiding it and questioning it and doubting it because I was so scared of people pleasing and wondering what people were going to think of me, right? So, oh God, if I change the name to Wellness Witch, well, people aren't going to be happy about that. And let's face it, not everybody was, right? But those who are, and those who connect with me, they're going to stick along and they're going to come along for this journey because they resonate with it. And I had to honor that for myself, because being true to myself, let's face it, your business is for you first and foremost. Your business is for you. Yes, we're here to serve people. Yes, we're here to help people, but we have to be happy about our business decisions first and resonate with them so that we can fully show up as we are, as authentically as ourselves. And that's what's going to come across in your marketing and your branding. After running Healthy Hormones for Women since 2018, and it wasn't just 2018. Yes, I had the podcast since 2018 and that specific name, but I've been doing health and hormones for many, many years. I've been in the health and hormone space for over 15 years. And I came to a point where that was no longer the thing that I wanted to coach in and the only thing I wanted to talk about. I evolved. I've had new life experiences. I've had a lot of personal growth. And I want to be able to share that evolution with my community. And if I didn't do that, I would have felt suffocated. And I know many of you can relate to this because you are probably in the state of people pleasing and you feel suffocated by that. And almost like sometimes I would even get this constriction in my throat because I felt like, well, I have to talk about hormones or I have to talk about this health thing because that's the expectation for my community. And I really had to let that go because it was hurting me, like it was crushing me, literally. And so I needed to step into the things that bring me joy so that I could fully show up as me, as Samantha, as the evolved woman and where I am now. And this is why my time spent with one-to-one support is in our business mentorship program, marketing and business and sales, and really being a leader and showing up as this powerful woman and businesswoman. That lights me up. And I want to be able to have that conversation and share my expertise in that field and also bring along the health conversation. I don't want to coach in the health space anymore, but I do want to have the conversation because I still love to talk about thyroid health and metabolic health and adrenal health, blood sugar, nutrition. I love these things. I just don't want to coach in it. So I had to really let go of these things that were no longer serving me and start to honor those things that were really bringing me joy And ultimately, my business expanded exponentially because of that. And even the podcast grew because of that and really honoring that. So always becoming, never arriving. It's really about your growth and honoring where you are and knowing that it is okay to pivot. It is okay to change things. You can change your mind. That is okay. And ultimately, you have to do those things for yourself first before you do it for anybody else. Another thing that I really want to add on to this point is that I think, especially in when it comes to business specifically and building and growing and starting your business, so many of us get very attached to the money. And I shared this a couple weeks ago in a podcast episode where, if I can go back in time and kind of change things and redo things in my business, like what would I do differently? I was sharing how I would change this attachment that I had to money. And so I think this is an important thing to mention here because I think a lot of us feel like we're going to arrive at $50,000, $100,000, 200,000, whatever that number is, and we're going to be happy. And that's not the case. Or we're chasing this feeling and it's actually very fleeting. It's a very, very fleeting feeling. I remember many, many years ago, one of the coaches that I worked with, we sat down together and she broke down different revenue streams in my business and, different things that I was selling and how I could actually get to 30K months. And I will never forget that conversation because the minute she said that, I was like, oh my God, like if she sees that that's possible, then yes, 100%, 30K is the number. Let's do this. I can do 30K months. Amazing. I didn't even think that was at first a possibility. And then she said that and kind of mapped that out for me. And then I saw that possibility. So I was like, great. And then for the longest time, I was not hitting 30K months. And it made me feel like such a failure, like something was wrong with me. And the thing is, those 30K months came and way beyond, and I didn't even think twice about them. Like I didn't even think twice about them. I looked at it and was like, oh, like this wasn't even 30K. We surpassed that and we do that regularly. Like it wasn't even a thought. Like the feeling that I was hoping to get to see that 30K number monthly, I think it lasted half of a second, really. And another example I can share of this was for a very long time, I would say to myself, okay, I want to have a 100K launch. I want to have a 100K launch. And the 100K launch came and the feeling of achievement, success, I don't even know what it was I was chasing, to be quite honest. It lasted seconds, literally. Okay, oh, cool, 100K, right, great, on to the next. So it's so important to, again, always becoming, never arriving. You're not going to arrive at this feeling that you're looking for. So enjoy this process, be present with it, and really honor where you're at and letting go of the timeline. And really working on that personal growth process, because that's what this is. As you're starting a business, you don't just grow professionally, you really grow personally. And so I just wanted to add that in there because I've had the experience many times over and over, the case of when I have that I'm going to arrive at this number and it's going to really bring me the joy and the fulfillment, and it does not. It didn't at all. And so I've really come to a place now of just letting go of that number. And it feels actually really good. It feels very freeing, which is what we all ultimately want to feel in our business. But when we are trying to arrive at the specific thing, it actually feels very constrictive and we don't feel free.